Welcome once again to the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy e-learning program. I am Meave Nelson Eastman, and today I will be engaging students of Standard 5 and Standard 4 in English Language Arts. Our specific area of focus today is grammar. But before we begin our lesson, let us take a look at some of our objectives. In this lesson, you will examine the importance of using part of speech, and I just want to highlight the word part of speech here. Part of speech, which include prepositions, adverbs, adjectives, nouns, pronouns, verbal forms, and conjunctions correctly in context. In addition to that, we will want to apply grammar rules to write sentences correctly. We are going to do things a little different today. I am going to begin this lesson with a story. So I ask you to listen attentively. Once upon a time, there was an old lady by the name of Grand Lou, who devoted all her time to writing books, magazines, and short stories for young children. As years went by, Grand Lou realized that moving from one place to another was oh so difficult. So she decided to look for an assistant writer. Boys and girls from all over the tiny village were elated when they heard the news. Everyone wanted to be Grand Lou's helper. They imagined themselves writing hundreds of books to be read by children like themselves. Every day, children from all over the country and the village will come to visit Grand Lou, hoping to be the chosen one. Being the chosen one was the main topic of every conversation. But Grand Lou had a brilliant idea. She wanted someone who was great in composing stories. So she decided that she will ask children to do a simple task. Yes, she will ask them to write sentences about themselves. Luckily, 2 children were prepared for this. On the screen, I have a picture of Annabelle. This is Annabelle here, and here is Andel. So let us see what Annabelle and Andel wrote. All right, Annabelle wrote, "My name is Annabelle Tom. My hobbies are reading and writing. I will be happy to fill the position of assistant writer in your establishment." Andel, on the other hand, he wrote, "My name is Handel. I is the most hardest working child in this village. Please take me to replace you as the writer. Love, Handel." And with that, he handed Grand Lou a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Now, I'm going to let you be the judge. Who do you think Grand Lou will select to help her in writing these stories? I don't know who you will select, but based on the criteria, who do you think Grand Lou will select? Now, let us take a closer look at Handel's writing. In Handel's writing, we can see, "My name is Handel." He did not even mention his surname. And then he has, "I is the most hardest working child in the village." Do we say I is? We can make some changes to that, don't we? Yes, we can change is here to am. He should really say, I am. I am the most hardest. Do we say most hardest? No. So we can leave off the word most here. And our sentence will be read as, I am the hardest working child in this village. The next line is, please take me to replace you as the writer. Do you observe that there is an error here? Yes, takes. This should really be take. Please take me to replace you as the writer. Love, Andel. Now, when we make mistakes like these, they are called grammatical errors. Grammatical errors occur when the words are used in the wrong way, or we can say they are used incorrectly in sentences, similarly to what was done by Andel. All right, let's move on. The words that we use can be adjectives. Yes, they can. They can be adverbs. They can be conjunctions, interjections, nouns, prepositions, pronouns, and verbs. But there are rules governing the usage of these words. And in this lesson, we are going to look at some of the rules governing the usage of these words. But before we get any further into the lesson, there is a word or perhaps a group of words that are used to describe all of these that are here on the board. What do we call these? Yes, they are referred to as parts of speech. And as I was preparing this lesson, I saw a beautiful poem on part of speech to remind us of the different parts of speech and the meaning of the part of speech. Let us read this poem together. It is the parts of speech poem. It goes like this. Every name is a noun, as fields, mountain, street, and tongue. In place of a noun, a pronoun stands, as he and she clap their hands. The adjective describes a thing as a magic wand or bridal ring. A verb means action, something done. For example, to read, write, jump, or run. How things are done, the adverb tells, so this is our adverb, tells us quickly, slowly, badly, well. The preposition shows relation, as in the street, or at the station. Conjunctions join in many ways, sentences, words, of a phrase and a phrase. The interjection cries out, hark! I need an exclamation mark. So our interjection needs an exclamation mark. And through poetry, we can learn how each of these make up what we call the parts of speech. To use parts of speech correctly, we must practice. So let us engage in a little practice now. What do we say? Do we say a box of crayons was left in the classroom, or do we say a box of crayons were left in the classroom? Think about it. All right, in this sentence, we must ensure that there is subject and verb agreement. So we are talking about one box of crayons. One box of crayons. And we can say one box of crayons was left in the classroom. So the correct answer here is was. Let's move on to the next sentence. But before I do that, let me take off my little joint here. Next sentence. Jahi and is it he or him go to swimming lessons? Do we say he or him? Let's get ready to go. We say Jahi and he. Why do we say he? Because Jahi is the subject of the sentence, and the subject here is joined by the word and. So the pronoun must be a subject pronoun. Again, let me take off my little join. Next sentence. Ariana likes to play netball. Do we say Anna, she dislikes cricket? Or do we say, but she dislikes cricket? Right. We say, Ariana likes to play netball, but she dislikes cricket. Why is that so? Because we are comparing or contrasting like and dislike. Two different things. Let's move on to our next sentence. Do we say the man died from a rare disease? Or do we say the man died of a rare disease? Which is correct? Yes, we say the man died of a rare disease. It is the correct preposition to go with the word died. Let's move on. There are some golden coins hidden in my flowers here. Now, we are going to do another activity. This time, I want you to identify the error in each sentence that I'm going to have below. If you are able to identify the error, then you're going to earn yourself one golden coin. And for making the correction to the sentence, that will be another golden coin. So each sentence is worth 2 golden coins. Let's go. Number 1, each boy must do their own work. There is an error in that sentence. Were you able to identify the error? The error here is there. Why? Because each boy, each means one. And if we are talking about one boy, we write one boy must do his own work. Were you able to get the 2 golden coins? Very well. Let's move on to the next sentence. Again, I want you to identify the error and make the corrections. The best team won the football match. There is an error there. What is the error? Yes, the error is best. How many teams play a football match? Do we have 3 teams playing against each other? Or is it 2 teams? Because a football match is played between 2 teams, we say the better team. So instead of best, we should have better. The better team won the football match. Let's move on to our next sentence. Sentence number 3. She sat quiet in the classroom all day. And of course, there is an error in that sentence. What is the error? Right, the error is quiet. How did she sit in the classroom? She sat quietly. So we should have quietly. And our last question in this section is, some parents complained that they did not receive no notice about the meeting. And again, there is an error here. See if you can identify this error. Some parents complained that they did not receive no notice about the meeting. Yes, the error is no. Why is this an error? Because we already have a negative word in the sentence, and we do not have two negative words in one sentence. It is called double negative error. So we should change the second negative word. So in this case, instead of no, we are going to write any. And our sentence would read, some parents complained that they did not receive any notice about the meeting. This has brought us to the assessment section of our lesson. So we are now going to do our assessment. And if you look at it, you are going to see task 3. In the SEA examination, grammar is in that section. And before we begin doing any exercise, we must read the instructions carefully. There is one grammatical error in every line. And I want to highlight every here. There is one grammatical error in every line in the passage below. Draw a circle around the error and write the correct form of the word in the box provided. I want you to, first of all, read the entire passage. And I would like you to read along with me. So let's go together. Last Friday, Ravian and me arrived at school early than usual. We were eager to play our first football match among our neighboring school. Just then, it began to rain heavily. The coach, along with the players, were very disappointed. Neither Javon nor the other spectators had anticipated this setback. I'm going to give you a few minutes to look for the grammatical errors, circle them, and write the correct form in the boxes provided. Are we ready? So we are now going to go line by line. Last Friday, Ravian and me arrived at school. What is the error on that line? If you say me, you are correct. That should be replaced by I. Let me write it here. Early than usual. We were eager to play our first. So I'm going to go from the top again. Last Friday, Ravian and I arrived at school early than usual. We were eager to play our first. Do you observe that there is an error in this line? Yes. The error is early. So I'm going to circle it. And early should be earlier. And I'm going to write earlier right here. Again, I'm going to go from the line before. We were eager to play our first football match among our neighboring school. Error. The error there is among. We do not play football matches among our neighboring school. We play a match against. So I'm going to write the word against. Just then, it began to rain heavily. The coach. I'm going to read it again. Just then, it began to rain heavily. The coach. The error here is begin. We are going to change the word begin to began. B-E-G-A-N. Began. The coach, along with the other players, were very disappointed. Neither. The error in this line is were. So I'm going to circle it. Why were? Because if you look at the subject of the sentence, which is on the previous line, the subject of the sentence is really the coach. And because the coach is one person, we will want to use the singular verb, which should be was. Now we have come to the last line of the passage, which reads, and I'm going to just take it from the line before, neither Jevon or the other spectators had anticipated this setback. What is the error here? The error is or. Why? Because of the word neither, we will not want to say or, but we will want to use the word no. Neither, no. We have now come to the end of the assessment. And I know many of you would have done very well. Didn't you? I just want to say hats off to you, those of you who got all the answers correctly. Those of you who were not able to get them correctly, let's keep on working. We have now come to the end of today's lesson, and I want to thank you for participating. See you the next time.